Hi everybody, this is Coach McCreary from Baseball by the Yard again, and this is part 3 of my 4-part video series for second baseman learning how to turn double plays. Now, the first 2 parts of this video series, I concentrated for the most part on coming across the bag, which is a popular method for second baseman, but that method of coming across the bag really is only good for situations where the ball is coming from a far distance. So if the third baseman is throwing you the ball, if the shortstop is fielding a ball right at him or to his right in the hole, this is a popular play for the second baseman because it allows the second baseman to get to the ball sooner. So if the third baseman's making a long throw from third base, the second baseman can cross over the bag and catch the ball sooner as opposed to waiting for the ball to come over the bag or behind the bag. So usually that's when a second baseman will use the crossing the base method. But for today, we're going to take a look at another option for second baseman, and that is backing off the bag. Now, the reason why a second baseman would sometimes want to back off the bag is occasionally you'll get balls that are hit to a shortstop's left, where the shortstop is going to be moving pretty quickly towards second base. And that can pose a problem if the second baseman and the shortstop are converging on the base at the same time. Now, to complicate matters, if the second baseman comes across the base, like I showed in part 1 and part 2, that can create a tough position because not just that they may run into each other because they're so close, but if the shortstop's throw should not be a good one, the second baseman does not have a lot of time to make an adjustment if the shortstop and the second baseman are so close. So in a situation where a ball is hit to the shortstop's left and he is approaching second base in that manner, often a second baseman will back off the bag to give themselves a little more freedom in that regard. So in this situation here, the right foot, as I showed you in part 1 and 2, normally a second baseman, if they're going to come across the bag, is going to put their right foot right there. But in this case, if they're going to be backing off the bag, I tell my second baseman to line their foot up a little bit farther back. So the right foot is a little bit more towards the right field area if they know they're going to be backing off the bag. Instead of putting their left foot on top of the bag, like they did when they crossed over, I tell my second baseman to put that left foot on the edge of the bag. So of course this is going to occur when the second baseman is approaching second base and realizes right away they're not going to be crossing over the bag. It's a ground ball situation where it might be better for them to back off the bag, and so the footwork's going to be slightly different. Now, when the shortstop does catch the ball and he's underhanding it or flipping it to the second baseman then pretty much keeps his right foot still, keeps his right foot planted, and all he's going to do next is move his left foot. He's going to move his left foot back and then direct it towards first base in order to make the throw to first base. Now, there's some mistakes that a lot of second basemen will make when they do try to come back off the bag. So let me show you 3 of them. And I'm also going to show you the exception that a lot of major leaguers will use, and we'll talk about that in a second. The first mistake is when second basemen get to the bag, often you'll see them put their feet in this position right here. The right foot is on the left field side of the bag, and their left foot is right on top of the bag. They receive the throw from the shortstop, they catch it, and they step with their left foot directly to first base and make the throw. The problem with that is, of course, after they make the throw, and shift their foot in that regard to do that, you have the runner coming right in that same path. And so many young second basemen who don't have a lot of the agility that major leaguers have can find themselves in a very dangerous situation because their leg is right in the way of the runner who is sliding in to second base. So the proper method here of stepping back off the bag and then stepping or taking that weight towards first base allows you to avoid that runner sliding in to second base. The second common mistake I see kids make, I think, is even worse. Here we have a throw from third base. The second baseman catches the ball, and instead of taking the proper footwork of back and forward to first base while keeping the right foot still, many second basemen will take that throw from the third baseman and then hop backwards towards left field with their right foot. They land, they then step with their left foot and make the throw to first base. Of course, the problem with that is their momentum, and when they do hop towards that left field area, is changing. Their momentum is going towards left field, and they have to throw back to first base, which makes it very tough, particularly for younger players who don't have the arm strength to make up for that. And of course, when they do let go of the ball, they are making a longer throw than they would have had to. Because they're behind the base, if it's a 90-foot diamond, they are making more than a 90-foot throw to first base. So two things wrong there. The momentum isn't going in the wrong direction, and they're giving themselves a longer throw than they would have to. Now, there is a major league exception to this, and that's what part 4 is going to deal with in this video series. I'm going to specifically talk about why you would see major league second basemen standing behind the bag in this fashion. But for little kids who do not have the foot quickness, the hand quickness, and the arm strength, this generally is not a good option for them. But I'll talk more about that in part 4. The third common mistake I see young kids make is, instead of doing that proper footwork of backing off the bag, as shown in the diagram here, many second basemen will take that left foot and never actually put it towards first base. They go back, but they never change directions and make that angle to first base. They keep on taking that left foot towards right field. And in essence, they open themselves up way too much. Now, that has a tendency of pulling the throw towards the right field side, and it just makes sense. If my momentum and my weight are traveling on that path, it makes sense that the ball is generally going to move on that path as well. Certainly, we want the throw to be directly to first base, so that's where the footwork has to be eventually stepping towards first base and not right field. Now, another thing that can happen is very much like a pitcher. When you see a pitcher fly open his front side, and I'm referring to a right-handed pitcher, when a right-handed pitcher flies his front side open too fast, often a fastball will tail up and in to a right-handed batter. And the same principle occurs here with a second baseman who flies his flies his front side open too fast. It can have a tendency to take that ball and tail it up the first baseline, making it a difficult play for the first baseman. So anytime I have my momentum heading in that direction, I'm going to set myself up for a tougher throw to first base. But if I do the proper footwork of stepping back off the bag and shifting my weight a little bit towards directly towards first base, I can certainly set myself up for a much more accurate and stronger throw to first base. Well, folks, that's going to do it for part 3. If you have any comments about this video or any other video or any suggestions for the site overall, don't hesitate to send them to baseballbytheyard@gmail.com. And if you haven't checked out my website yet, go to baseballbytheyard.com and check out all the stuff I have in all areas of the game. Okay, folks, so that's going to wrap up part 3. This is Coach McCreary signing off. Let's move on to part 4. Have a great day, everybody.